title of this message, this is my third, if I'm correct, this is my third teaching on it, is Leaving Egypt. And we've been talking about breaking the bondage of Pharaoh or breaking the bondage of debt off your life. It is the will of the Lord. One of the things I want to establish over the next couple of weeks is that we used to say, I don't know who started saying this, but I don't know if it was Kenneth Hagin or who started saying this, but the saying is faith begins where the will of God is known. Have y'all ever heard that? Yes. Faith begins where the will of God is known. Faith coming by hearing and hearing by the word. And, you know, faith by hearing is really what it says, but faith by rhema. But faith begins when the will of God is known, meaning this: you can't have faith for what you don't know is his will. If you're not 10,000, so my thing is this, okay. How many of y'all in here married? Okay. Now, if somebody roll up on your husband or wife, how many of y'all we're gonna have to ask you to stay saved? So the rest of y'all, like, I've been trying to get rid of him for a minute, Pastor. Like, please, do you got somebody for him? You got somebody for? Only half of the hands went back up. Maybe you didn't understand the question. I'm hoping you didn't understand the question. Only half of the hands went back up. That's scary. So watch this. Somebody, come off wrong on your husband or wife, you're going to have some issues with that because in your mind, that's mine. You understand what I'm saying? That's mine, like what you're doing. So we're going to have problems. But why don't you have problems being in debt? So you'll pop off if somebody mess with your children. You'll pop off if somebody mess with your husband or your wife. Some of y'all will fight for your cousins because you just like to fight. Some of y'all will fight with your bosses, but you won't fight to get out of debt. Because you don't have a revelation that God don't want me in debt. If you had a revelation that God didn't want you in debt, you would do something about it. When you got a revelation, you're forced to act on it. And the fact that you haven't done more to release yourself from Pharaoh is revelation that is a sign that you don't have revelation that God don't want you a slave. Y'all hearing me? I don't teach on this often, but I love teaching on this. I'm telling y'all, I'm one of the best in the country at teaching on this. I'm anointed to teach on this kind of stuff, and I love teaching on it. And I'm glad he gave me permission because I don't teach on it because I generally don't like fighting people. Because when you teach on stuff like this, you're boxing mentalities. You ain't fighting people, you fighting mindsets. And that's harder than fighting people. Because one of the hardest things to do is change an individual's mind or break somebody's will. If you want to be in debt, oh my God, I'm up here I'm fighting against mentalities that Pharaoh has instituted. So you have to remember, debt is an institution all by itself. Debt is no different than the penitentiary system. It's an institution. It's designed for those who don't know that they don't belong to Pharaoh. Am I losing y'all? Okay. So let me see. I got 1,000 notes. Let me see. Okay. So let's just talk about some practical stuff before we get into too much of this scriptural stuff, because I'm feeling my Wheaties and we might jump off a ledge. So Okay, so let's look at some of this. Okay, 89% of all millionaires are first generation millionaires. 89%. So most of the people that got $1 million or whatever the case may be, or worth $1 million, 89% of them are the first in their family line. Okay? So you supposed to say, I got that's gonna be me. That's me. I'll be the first. And if you ain't the first, then be the second, but be one. Even if you two, that's a good number to be two on. I'm gonna be the second millionaire. Even if you the fifth in your family, I'm gonna be the fifth. But be one. Be a number. You understand what I'm saying? Be in the number. How about that? How about that? What you don't want to be is one of the ones in your family that be like, yeah, I was the 18th that went to jail. I was the 12th that got divorced. None of my family. Y'all come to me all the time. None, my aunt ain't married. My grandmama ain't married. My this ain't married. My dad ain't married. I'm gonna start dealing with them relationships. When I get back, after I get myself together, I'm gonna try to, and see, I got to figure something out for next year because I can't keep doing Bible studies. I've been doing Bible studies for 15 years. I have to disciple people. I don't mind teaching. I don't mind doing it, but it's after 15 years, it's taken away my ability to disciple people. And I have to disciple people because I need disciples to disciple. I need more disciples to be able to do what I do. And so I have to figure out what that Bible study would look like next year, because there are too many marriages that are not where they need to be or what they need to be. And I got to deal with that. So when I come back off my sabbatical, I told us later, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it before. We're going to take some Sunday evenings. I'm thinking 6:30 after I go home and take my nap. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to punch all y'all in the face for the way y'all treating each other. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. No, that's what you got to do, because married couples, I used to, in my younger days, I used to try to be nice and say, you can't continue to treat her like that. I ain't doing that no more. That don't work. 3 days later, they fighting. I'm going to come in there with fly swallers and just smack y'all on your hand. I told you not to do it to her no more. I told you. You see, then y'all going to be, y'all gonna tell people y'all in a cult. I'm gonna be streaming. My first time ever going viral is going to be swatting people with fly swallers. So watch this. First generation millionaires, 89%. Okay, now, do y'all got that homeowner statistic for Air County that I gave y'all, that graphic for that homeowner thing for Henrico? Yeah, right there. Okay, so look at this. Put it online for about 15 seconds so they can see it. The income needed to afford a home in Virginia has increased what? What percent? 76. Since when? Since the last 4 years. Y'all see that? So in 2020, the average median home price around here was $287. Mortgage rates was 3.47, 3%, 3.5%. Your monthly payment was $1,573. You needed to make about $67,000 to be able to do that. That same house, 4 years later, cost you $384,000. The rates have doubled. Look at the payment. The payment's almost $1,300 more, which means now you went from making $67,000 to now you got to make almost $50,000 more to afford the same house. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be teaching on. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be talking about. I know what I'm supposed to be teaching. I know what I'm supposed to be talking about. Now, you said, Pastor, what does that have to do with leaving Egypt? Got everything to do with leaving Egypt. Okay, go ahead, take it down, or take it off my virtual people so they can see whatever they need to see. So it has everything to do with what I'm teaching. So part of the wealth gap, when we talk about the wealth gap, especially in the African American community, when we talk about the wealth gap, so I think the numbers last year, as of last year, the average assets in a white household was $188,000. The Hispanic community was $36,000, and in the African American community, it was 24,000. So that's just out of those three ethnicities, and y'all already know you ain't doing no better than the Asians and the Indians. Their kids ain't playing. Their kids don't even play no video games. Their kids doing math work so they can be engineers and accountants. Their kids ain't. Their kids ain't doing that. That's why they don't let their kids come over our house. You're not going. You're not going to infect their kids with Pharaoh's system, where you play games at home and make bricks by straw all the rest of the day. They're not doing that. So let's just talk about some of these numbers before I dig in. So there are 735 billionaires in America. Well, let me say this. Let me give you this statistic. Let me see. I gave y'all that. Let me see. Okay. 40% of current homeowners wouldn't be able to rebuy their house again in today's market. So the people that currently own a home, 40% of them couldn't own that home right now if they had to rebuy. Are y'all following me? So we got major problems, because part of closing the wealth gap is home ownership. So when you talk about the three factors, and I've talked about this before, maybe not in this extent, but we talk about that when we go over closing the wealth gap while we're raising $900,000, blah, 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 blah. Three of the main factors of why African Americans are so far behind economically, in addition to slavery, is no home ownership, so they never build equity in anything. Lack of education. We're 21st in education out of ethnicities. If you want to know where that is, just go to the bottom. We're at the bottom in education. And then insurance. We don't leave nothing. And then when we leave something, so I got a girl I used to deal with, and she used to do some stuff for me. And I don't even know if she's still doing it no more. She said she got tired because she worked on commission. She said she just got tired of dealing with African American people. She said because somebody would leave them $100,000. She said they invested with it, and 2 months later they come and get in the back buying a car. And so her commission, you get commission, and then when they come get the money back, now they were drawing out your account, what you thought was, you thought they was going to leave it there for the next couple of years, and I don't even know what she do with it anymore. She said because all our people wanted to do was buy clothes and cars. It's an Egypt mindset, and that's what we're dealing with, this whole Egypt mindset. And so there are 735 billionaires in America. Bob Johnson was the first one that we know of that they claim in 2001. But I believe my boy Reginald Lewis Mike was a black billionaire. He's a lawyer. I read his autobiography, and he was getting it. But either way, they claim Bob Johnson was the first, and Bob used their people, sold us a bunch of mess that y'all love, and then went off into the limelight. He just found the most raunchiest programming he could do, and we watched it nonstop, and then he made $1 billion off of us. Same thing. Nobody's exploited more than the children of Egypt. And African Americans are the closest thing to the children or to the people that were stuck under Pharaoh. We're the closest thing in modern day times that look like that. This message is not a black message for all my parishioners and non-parishioners and people that like me as a preacher, because I have people of all ethnicities that see me in the grocery store, in the mall, and they watch me constantly. And so I want to make a disclaimer. don't judge me for helping my race, because I understand that I'm first spirit before I'm black, but I also understand that there are certain bondages that come with cultural ethnicity that have to be broken. And so you can't ask me to minister to a minority when I know who my majority is. Does that make sense? So to my people that love watching me teach and all that kind of stuff, and you're not African American, you can't judge me on what I'm ministering and how I'm ministering. What you need to focus on is the principle of debt release biblically. But there's some certain things that I have to deal with from a mindset standpoint to get my people out. And so let me do what I got to do. So anyway, now Bob Johnson was the first in 2001. But catch this now. In the last 20 years, there's only been 9 more African Americans that have become billionaires. So even now that we're able to be involved in certain layers of economics, we've still only added 9. There are 1.5 to 2 million African American millionaires in the United States that account for anywhere from about 8.5% to 9% of millionaires in the U.S. I'll say that again. So there are about 1.5 to 2 million African American millionaires in the United States. Now that let me see. So it's still less than 10%, because in 2000 there were 36 million African Americans. Now in 24 there are 48 million. So we went from 36 million to 48 million. There's a 32% increase in our populations. So we're making babies, we just ain't advancing economically. We're making plenty of babies. We just ain't advancing economically, because in 20 years we've only added 9 more billionaires, but we've added 12 million more black kids. Is this too much? Is this making sense? So I'm talking about now, Pastor, what are you dealing with right now? Before I even get into these scriptures, I'm dealing with the facts of Egypt, and how if I can't rewire your mind, I can't get you out. I want you to see where most of our people are. And I want to open a window or a portal to expose you to better, for you to say, I can leave there, and it's okay for me to leave Egypt. It's okay for me to get out. Like, so at what point do you get transformed, and at what point do you transition at what point do you transition and make up in your mind that you're going to leave Egypt? Like, so for instance, for me, okay, I was either 17 or 18 when my buddy that died down in Charlotte, I think Aunt probably was like 2 or 3 years older than me. But he got me in the strip clubs when I was 17 or 18 in D.C. He used to get me in the strip clubs. And I started drinking 17 or 18, really, when I got to college. Started smoking weed when I got to college. All of that. But how do you, 30 years later, at 47, you still going to strip clubs, still drinking weed, Some of you, you still getting high? No, I used to bake brownies and put the weed in the brownies. Oh man, you stay high all day like that. I had 3 people up here saying, and the rest of y'all acting like tell your neighbors, I've been holy all my life. My question to you is this. At what point do you transition from slavery? How long do you stay in that cycle? So if I'm still doing that in my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, and my 60s, I've been a slave my whole life. At what point do you mature to say, I'm not going to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life? At what point do you actually transition to say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to do something. Me and First Lady, we did 1 year of fighting, and we said, okay, let's leave Egypt. Both of us. That was enough for us. Like, listen, if we're going to be together, let's be together, but let's go into Canaan land, and let's not be together in Egypt, because Egypt is not beneficial for none of us. Like, this is not it. We took 1 year of staying in Egypt, and we got out of their marriage and been living good ever since. Yeah, so that's why I want to understand how some of y'all stay in Egypt, not just in your finances, but in your living, in your lifestyle, in your behaviors, and you live there your entire lives as if, I got so much to teach, as if God ain't got better for you. See, that's what I want to understand. Like, my boy just turned 26. And I texted him happy birthday. I ain't get to call him. I ain't call him. I love him. That's my son. Don't be stupid. Don't do that. But I love him. But at what point is he going to receive what his father has for him? How long do I have to stand by as a father waiting for him to decide whether or not he's going to grow up and mature to receive God's best or God's promises or even my promises for him? See, that's that Galatians 3, that Galatians 4. That Galatians 4. Go ahead, go Galatians 4, chapter 1. This ain't playing, but I'm just having a good time. Just let me teach. Go over Galatians 4. Put it up in the Amplified. Just do verse 1. Galatians 4:1. I've been doing so good, y'all fell asleep back there. Verse 1. Just start in verse 1. We're going to end up in 7. Just do verse 1, though. Y'all going to help me out? Now, he says, now, what I mean when I talk about children and their guardians is this. As long as the heir is a what? Child. He is no different than a slave. So watch this. If you don't grow up, you're going to always live in Egypt. I'm going to say that again. If you don't grow up in your thinking, in your behaviors, and if you don't grow up to look like Christ, you always going to be a slave. This applies to not just the money piece. It applies to everything. He says, watch this. He says, if you don't grow up and you behaving like a child, watch this. God ain't going to release nothing to you. Children live under the hand of Pharaoh. What point do you grow up? He says they're no different. He says, watch this. You have access to it all. You're supposed to have it all, but you're too childish to access what's rightfully yours as an heir. Y'all see that? It's right there. Even though he is the future owner and master of what? Of what? So watch this. You ain't broke. Your mind just in Egypt. You ain't broke. You are heir. Your mind just, you ain't grown up enough to receive what God has for you. Watch this. Get ready for my video that I gave y'all. Just don't play it yet. Just get that ready, and then I'm gonna go into these scriptures. Okay, so watch this now. There are only 8 to 10 African American Fortune 500 CEOs. So out of Fortune 500 companies, the largest companies in in the world or in America, whatever. In the world, I don't know if Fortune 500 is the world, I'm assuming. But out of the Fortune 500 companies, whether it's America or the world, there's less than 10 African Americans that are able to head up those companies. Less than 10. But we're still 14% of the population. So our representation for wealth is low. And when you don't have an image for who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to become, then you'll keep living. Hold on. I had a statement that the Lord gave me. God, I want to see if I wrote that thing down. I didn't write that thing down. My God, he gave me a word on about an hour before we came here. Let me see. And it was powerful too. I don't think I wrote it down. I think he gave it to me while I was in the store, right before I came over here. I'm gonna see if he give it back to me. But he gave me a powerful statement that really blessed me. But watch this now. So we don't have a lot of representation for wealth. We have a lot of representation for childish behaviors. So the majority of the wealth in the African American community is entertainment. That includes sports. So it's music and entertainment. But when you look at the wealthiest, Kristen, go get you some water. Y'all get her some water. Chris, go get up and get you some water. But tell them to give you some Zyrtec. Tell your friends. You got friends in here. Tell them to give you some Zyrtec then. So watch this. The issue with their representation is most of the people that have the highest wealth that are on display, most of them are still Egyptians looking like they're Israelites that belong in Canaan. They're still under Pharaoh. You know how you know? Because they still spending $500,000 on gold chains. That's a Pharaoh mentality. The problem with it is the system of Egypt allows them to flaunt what they have because the way they got it is still built in cultural ignorance, so it still keeps us where we belong, which is in Egypt. Am I hurting your feelings? That's probably tearing down too much of what y'all think, because that's what we love. We pay for entertainment, whether it's sports, whether it's music. That's what we're going to pay. We're going to go to that Bay concert. That Bay concert going to not send us back $2,000, and you got them red bottoms on, but your rent due. You look real good, but you real poor. This is where our people are. And so you have to remember, the system is set up where they don't mind us seeing these images. Why are most of the images that they let us see, why is it generally not intelligent ones? Why is it always us showing our worst impression of us, looking and acting and talking like we 21st in education? And then our kids gravitate to it. And it keeps our kids in Egypt. So I ain't want to go to college. I got hold of that Biggie Small CD, the first one. That Tupac. I was about 15. Got a hold of that. College. I don't want to go to college for. I ain't college. Learning. I don't even want to be in school now. Well, the reason I'm doing my homework, I don't want my mama to get a hammer out from under the cabinet. Black woman crazy, y'all, that you done birthed me with. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to keep her off my back. No, that's real talk. Went to college because my mama said that you gonna go to college. Only reason I went to college because she literally tried to swing on me, and I was too scared not to go. And I was just like, man, I'm just gonna go for my mom. I won't go into college because I was trying to get out of Egypt. I was going to college because I was scared of my mama. No, that's real talk. There was nothing in me was like, okay, I'm going to college so I can become Daniel, so I can sit in the king's courts, and so I can deliver more people, or so I can get an education. No, I'm going to college so my mama, but how many other kids are going to college for the wrong reasons? Oh, I got so much to talk about. I should be doing a seminar on this. All right. So watch this now. So go ahead and show that video real quick with A-Rod.
A 50-year-old is 2x more likely to succeed than someone that's 30. Here's the bottom line is, age is not your barrier. Your mindset is, okay? Right? And it's never too late. I'll give you a few examples, okay? Michael Bloomberg got fired at 39. He started Bloomberg business shortly after. 15 years later, he was a billionaire. Today, he's 82 and worth $106 billion. He started at the age of 40, okay? You look at Henry Ford. He launched the T model, Ford affordable car, Henry Ford, at age 45. You look at Warren Buffett, who's 93 years old, Vic, 93 years old, worth $130 billion. $130 billion. He made 99% of his net worth after his 50th birthday, okay? And this is my favorite one, last one. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, I was
right? Colonel Sanders opened his first Kentucky Fried Chicken at the age of 65 and failed. And then he collected his Social Security money and then started franchising, and the rest is history. So here's my message. Get up, get going, never give up, and it's never too late. A 50-year-old is 2x more likely to succeed than someone that's 30. Here's the bottom line is,
stop it.
Age.
So watch this. He said that age was never the issue because most people didn't make their wealth till after they was 50. But watch this. Most people don't get smart until they 50. Everybody in here under 50 like, I don't agree with that. This was so good until he said that. When you're in your 20s, you still processing dumb decisions. Let me see. I done gave away, I think, 4 cars. But I done brought, I don't know how many bad cars I done brought. I'll be 47 on my birthday. I brought a van one time from my HVAC man. He was just selling. He was like, I just need to get rid of it. I was like, man, you sure that thing run? He was like, man, I'm telling you, man, I've been driving it the whole time. Ain't nothing wrong with it. No, it ran. It actually did run. It ran for the first week until I wrecked it over north side. The streets was narrow. I ran down one of them narrow streets. Man, somebody's mirror scratched that thing all up, man. It looked like I had a nickel-plated van by the time I got down, finished getting there in the street. Man, I parked that thing, man. I called somebody. I said, man, if you don't come get this van, man, bought this thing, I ain't have no business buying this van. I brought a raggedy car. I wanted a weed car. This is before I got saved. So I wanted a weed car. I know I got people with MBAs and doctorates and doctors in here. And I'll give you the equation for nitrogen in a few minutes for y'all intelligent people. And is it hot in here, or is the anointing just didn't? I'm burning. Oh my God, I'm burning up in here. Oh my God, this thing dropping. Woo, God, dope. All right, let's hurry up so we get up out here. So, listen, this girl, I ordered DoorDash yesterday. I ordered, what's the day? Wednesday. I ordered DoorDash yesterday at the church. That girl came, and she didn't look like a girl. You know, she looked like a straight boy. You know, voice was trying to match mine. And I was wondering why she went by me in the parking lot. So when she got there, I'm standing there. So you know I'm there. I'm the one who ordered the food. And she drive by me. And she parked like all the way down there. I'm like, this is some weird stuff going on. And so I'm like, no, okay, all right, like, okay, whatever. So she get out and she come and she kind of hands the bag out like this. Because, you know, I guess she realized she had a church. You know, it tell you where you're going because you're going to Speaking Spirit Ministries. You understand what I'm saying? So she hands the bag out like this. She said, here you go. And, no, I ain't lying. No, y'all think I'm trying to be, no, I'm not picking, not trying to be funny. I'm telling you what she did. Yeah, no, voice, you know, because she transforming. Yeah, when you submit to the enemy, he will transform you. Yeah, he'll turn you out. So he's transforming or whatever. So she with a deep voice, I got that bag. I start walking down the hall to my office, and I feel something following me. I get halfway to my office. I lift that bag up. I said, whoa, what kind of ganja she got? I mean, she had some good weed, whatever that was. No, I ain't smelled no good weed like that in 20-something years. Like, I don't know what she was smoking, but it was all on the bag because the bag was stapled up. They stapled my food up. That thing followed all the way down the hall. I got in the office. I said, First Lady, do you smell? You know, First Lady ain't don't know about no weed. You understand what I'm saying? She's a good girl. You know, she don't know about that. I said, do you smell it? I said, so I had to hurry up, get my food out the bag. And then I had to take the bag and put it outside. What was I talking about before I started that story? The weed car. Oh, I got to tell more weed stories because y'all never remember. Oh, everybody knew the weed car, Pastor. Everybody answered. I ain't never had my whole congregation answer. Everybody following along. It's the weed story. The weed. Everybody will remember this sermon. It's the weed sermon. Oh, glory. So I brought this grand something. I want no Grand Prix. Grand Am. Didn't they used to sell a car called Grand Am? Brought a Grand Am, a used Grand Am, a gray used Grand Am. And Cause I was like, man, I ain't gonna tear up my good car. Cause I had brought a brand new Tahoe. And man, me and my boys, we was just smoking that Tahoe out. And so I said, I'm gonna buy this Grand Am and I'm gonna, ride through the city like that, And man, that thing ain't do nothing but leak oil everywhere I went. Forget about the weed. Like you knew I was there because of the oil that was left. Like when I left, all you had to do was follow the oil. I can't even count how many bad vehicles I had. I'm talking about sometimes you ain't smart till you smart. But sometimes you ain't smart till you age, not because you have to age to be smart, but because you won't submit to wisdom when you're young. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Are you following me? Because you think you know everything. You don't want nobody to tell you what to do. You could have been a millionaire before you was 30. You ain't want to listen. You hard-headed. You don't want to listen. You could have been out of that. You don't want to listen. You got it. I don't need no help. Ain't that like a slave? I don't need no help. No, I can show it to you in scripture. See, okay, all right, let me see. Did I write this down? Come on, Pastor, tell me you wrote this down. Hold on. I ain't write it down. I don't know where I wrote it. See, because I thought I wrote it down. But see, slaves don't want to admit they need help. I had a whole thing that the Lord was dealing with me about to explain, and I don't even know. Go over to Exodus 14 while I'm talking. Slaves don't want to admit they need help. They'll fight you to help them. That's what. See, people who are out of Egypt, all they do is get help. That's all they do is get help. They find people to help them. They get out of the situation they in. They was poor last year. This year they rich. Because they ain't have no mentality of a slave that didn't want no help. A slave, you'll tell them, you're a slave, right? I ain't no slave. Don't talk to me like that. Don't you. I'm not a slave. And then you say, look, bruh, I'll be back at midnight to throw you the rope. And here I go at midnight. You over there. You looking at the rope. Bro, you coming? You a slave. Come on. I got a rope for you. And here you go with a butcher knife cutting the rope. I ain't no slave. Don't call me no slave. But stay over here in Egypt. I don't need your help. We'd rather get kicked out before we get help. And then we don't call until we get ready to get kicked out. We call when we're on our last leg, and then we call at the last minute. When is due? Today. No, see, y'all playing games. Y'all playing these games. Because a slave is too prideful to admit they're a slave and they need help. And that's why most of y'all in debt right now. Because you're too prideful. I'm private. I'm private. Your credit report ain't. That's real public. Them scores real public. You private till they go pull that Social Security number. See what kind of games y'all playing. See, I'm throwing you a rope. There's some of y'all this time next year, your lives will be grand. You'll be out of debt. Boom. You'll be in a whole different territory. You'll be flowing in something different. Y'all will help me pay that first church off. Hopefully all three off. Some of y'all going to be flowing. And then there's some of y'all, you Pastor, I would have been able to give in October, but I went to, is Freaknik still around? What y'all doing now? Pastor, I went with my friends to Aruba. Pastor, I went to Jamaica. I told first lady she don't want to go to Jamaica. You know, I said, you know, come on, man, I've never really been. You know, I told her like, go with your boy. You know, she said, I don't want to go to Jamaica. I said, I want to go to that all-inclusive sandals resort. They keep running the ad. You know, I said, it don't look too cheap. I said, I want to go there, but some of y'all want to go there and can't afford to go there, and you're gonna come back and be behind on your rent for the next year. Yeah, no, you're going to be wearing sandals for 40 years. That's what it is. You're going to be wearing sandals for 40 years after you go. Feet looking like Methuselah. We get ready to go. No, because, no, let's be honest. Like, so again, instead of you living where you are and getting out of that, so for the rest of your life you can travel, you want to travel now and pay for the rest of your life. Y'all ain't hearing me. Because you can't delay gratification. So you want it now, right now, and then your whole life you stressing because you're making bricks with straw. Yeah, you went, but you've been stressing for the last 30 years financially. Because you never did what it took to get out of debt. Me and First Lady, we was making all this money. And, I mean, one year I made $1 million. We was making all this money. And, man, we ain't had none of that money. And, man, I'm fussing about it. And I told the accountant, I said, I don't know what this woman didn't do with my money. And she's supposed to be the quiet, submissive wife. And how many of y'all know she ain't stay quiet? She spoke up. She said, no, you're not going to put that on me. You the one that control the money. I don't know what you did with the money. I told her Sarah wouldn't talk to Abraham like that. Don't. So we're going to put you back in training. This is not it. This is not it. I made up in my mind. We looked at that balance sheet of what we made. I looked at what we had. I said, never again. I said, I'm never going to look at a balance sheet to say I made this and I only got this. I said, that's never going to happen to us again. I don't know how long ago that's been. And I made up in my mind. I said, we're going to do the right thing moving forward. So we're going to get financially fit. And we're never going back. I said, there'll never come a day that we'll look at the end of the year what we made and not have something to show for it. Ever. I said, we're not going to ever live like this again. And, the rest is history. We ain't never went back, but we made the decision. One more scripture and then I'm done. Am I helping anybody? Go over to verse 8. Go over to verse 8. Let's see what it say. Let's see. If we can rock it in the amplifier or if we need something else. All right, I'm going to wrap it up right here. It says, the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, but he kept pursuing the Israelites. That debt not going to easily let you go. You got to remember, when you make up your mind you leaving it, it ain't going to let you go that easy. It says he pursued the Israelites as they were leaving confidently. And you got to be defiant about leaving that debt. Amen. You know what I'm talking about. Confident and defiant. The Egyptians chased them with all of the horses and the war chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen and his army. He took everything after them. And he overtook them. And they overtook them. And they camped by the sea. Ooh, I love it. He says, they camped by the sea, in front of Baal-zephon. Go ahead. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up and saw the Egyptians marching after them. And they were very frightened. So the Israelites did what? Okay, go ahead, next verse. Come on, Pastor. Then they said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken this way to die? And see, that's what some of y'all see. I'm gonna show you. Possibly next week I might show you how you got to start getting in the system, and then that's what some of y'all gonna cry. He go taking us out here to die. It's always one of y'all. I'm trying to lead y'all to the promised land, and y'all ain't doing nothing but crucifying me. Watch this. What is this that you have done to us by bringing us? Watch this. What is this you doing to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Pastor, what you really trying to do? You talking about us getting out of debt. But then you're asking for $900,000. What kind of trickery is this? I'm going to show you scripture. I deal with all of that. Watch this. He says, are y'all leading us out here to die? Come on. Next verse. Come on. Then Moses said to the people, do not be afraid. Take your stand. Be firm. Be confident and undismayed, and do what? And do what? Now watch this now. And see the salvation of the Lord. Now watch this. That salvation, catch this now, is the name of Jesus, Yeshua. Watch this. Stand firm and see Jesus, and he will accomplish for you today. Watch this. For those Egyptians, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord. That word salvation, catch this now. It means help. It means deliverance. It means safety. It means victory. It means prosperity. And that's what salvation is. Salvation is not only deliverance from hell, it's deliverance from Egypt. He says you're going to have to cry out, stand still, and you got to know that Jesus has already delivered you from this debt. Watch this. And go over the next verse. We'll pick it back up next week. We got to go. He says, the Lord will do what? God, I love that. Watch this. The Lord will fight for you. That's a militant term. When you look it up, it's a militant term. Like it's military almost. The Lord will go to war for you. Watch this. The Lord, I don't know where we got this one from, but y'all, some of y'all street folk might recognize this one. The Lord will come to blows for you. That's what it says. The Lord will go to war for you, and the Lord will come to blows for you. To do what? To smite your enemy. That is an enemy that tries to keep you a slave, but we're decreeing and declaring from this day forward that the Lord will fight for us, our debt will be smitten, and we will see the salvation of the Lord. Somebody put a praise on that. I'm senior pastor here at Speaking Spirit Ministries, where we're growing, serving, loving God's people. You, my friend, have just been taught the Bible. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe.